All right, so what is going on, guys? I am back. I know that this video is going to get uploaded pretty much right after the one that I still needed to edit and put on with the motor out of the Legacy, which is now back in it. So I'm still using the same 20X, obviously. I got one of my buddies to weld the head for me, and we drilled it, tapped it, and again, it stripped out. So I put a thread cert in there, and it seems to be holding pretty good. No more exhaust leak. It is seeping a little bit of oil, but I can kind of live with it because it's dripped like maybe a drop in the last, I don't know, 500-600 miles that I put on it. So I mean, I can live with that, no problem. Finally did get a tune on it. We got 17 psi at the moment. We're probably going to put it to 21, 22. It did overboost at one point over to 22 or 23 during our tune, and honestly, like, it held it just fine. Pretty stoked about that, actually. It had no feedback knock all the way to 7,500 RPM, which is pretty awesome in my opinion. I mean, these things sound crazy at 7,500, no doubt. 7,500 sounds crazy, especially in a Subaru. It's pretty wild, I'm not gonna lie. Unless you have built block money, then then you probably know what it's like anyways. But that being said, in the shop we have my tuner brought down this Forester XT. It is automatic at the moment. Now if you look over here, this is all Spec B stuff, besides the shift linkage, which is in the car right now. These two rear axles that Jordan from Torquesteer brought me, because those are STI axles, and the STI axles are actually the correct length versus the Spec B axles, which are too long for the rear. But the Spec B axles will work in the front, so we can keep them 5x100 is what we're trying to do, because these RPF ones actually look very good on this car, for sure. They look slamming in that color. So basically, it started out, I pulled out the automatic shifter linkage and everything. This was kind of brought to me basically as like a test trial, to see that Austin and I can do good work with our tuner, and he could focus on tuning and we could focus on building all of his cars and whatnot, which I think will work fantastic, because that's kind of what we were shooting for one day, is to be able to collaborate with him and have him as our main tuner guy. Obviously he tunes all my vehicles. He tuned my Legacy, he's tuned my other Legacies, he's tuned my WRX, he's tuned everything that I've had. So he's done phenomenal, and hopefully we'll keep him around for quite a while. But so Spec B STI, or Spec B Trans, sorry, 6-speed, open diff, no DCCD. We really can't use a lot of this extra stuff because, first off, the knuckle assembly is completely different. The subframe is going to be completely different, because that's for a Legacy GT, obviously. These hubs for the front, also completely different, because Legacy GT. The brakes are from a Legacy GT Spec B, obviously. The control arms are the same thing. I'm going to try to see if I can make those work, but I really don't think I can at all, because, again, I think that those are a wider setup than the Forester XT ones. We got the R180 diff. Got a cross member, but I shouldn't need that. Jordan gave me the pedal assembly. He gave me the STI axles, and then the shifter linkage that's going to be going in the car. I just need to get a shifter plate so that way it actually holds it all down. Really just got this car in the other day. It's going to be definitely paying for our lift, because that's like inevitably what we want next. And because, in order to have a shop, you have to have a lift. A little bit pricey, so this will offset the cost. Luckily, I've had some extra stuff laying around that I'm able to kind of sell. So like, I sold Jordan the heads that I had, and then I just sold the short block not even 20 minutes ago that came with those heads. And, it's kind of feeding extra little bit of bucks here and there, so that way you can kind of save up for some loft space. Not to mention that I do need to still get top feed injectors and fuel rail set up for this, so that's next. So we don't have to run these side feeds anymore, because nobody wants to run side feeds. So yeah, I mean, over the next, few weeks, I'm just going to kind of keep going through this car. I still have to put the rear camber arms in, and then I got to get alignment done, and then I want to set my ride height correctly, because the front's just a little bit too low, because I scrape everywhere I go, and it's very annoying. Otherwise, day things are going well. The motor's running great. Again, 600 miles, doing pretty good. I love the front mount setup. It's working really well. And honestly, I couldn't be happier with how this has turned out. Definitely big plans coming up. I do want to be one of the first ones, like I was talking today with Jordan about going E85. That would be something nasty to do with this car because, again, nobody has done it yet, or at least nobody's talked about doing it yet. And I think that it would be pretty neat to see what this motor really can push out before I pop it. I mean, just imagine, we have a short, cheap, efficient way to make 400, 450 maybe, reliably on a 2.0 block that can rev out to 7,500. There is so many opportunities there if, this can work out. And I'm willing to take that chance because honestly, I'm looking to have fun. This is my fun car. And honestly, E85, I don't want to use it every day, but I do plan to get a daily driver so I don't have to drive the truck all the time. So it could be our tow vehicle. But as for a shop track car that we're using, I honestly couldn't be happier. But stay tuned for more content. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. If you guys have any more questions, feel free to DM me on Instagram, just like you guys have been. I'm happy to help you guys out. I'm just a local guy. I'm trying to build up my own name, reputation, and hopefully we can keep going with that. But anyways, stay tuned for more content. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.